Good morning. It was on Monday, May the 4th. Don Shula, the coach of the Miami Dolphins, passed away. Don was 90 years old, and what an amazing man he was. And I so enjoyed cheering for him and for the Miami Dolphins through the years when he was at his height as an NFL coach. It turned out he is the winningest coach in NFL history, having won 347 games. He had such an amazing career, and it all really went back to when he was just a young man. He grew up in a very strong Catholic family. His mother was a lady of great faith. His father also had converted to Catholicism, and he was raised in that kind of a home and was a person of faith, and ultimately went to John Carroll University. He went to school and played football there, and when he graduated, he wound up being drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 9th round. One of his teammates was drafted in the 22nd round. But in the end, Paul Brown really did like the players from John Carroll. He knew their system, and in the end, they were the only two rookies to make the team of the Cleveland Browns, coached by Paul Brown, one of the greatest coaches in history. And there he began to have his coaching life truly formed. He would play for a number of years, about 7 years, and then he would retire. He went to work ultimately coaching for the Baltimore Colts. He would coach the Baltimore Colts for 7 years and led them to Super Bowl III, where the Baltimore Colts would lose to the New York Jets and that guy named Joe Willie Namath, who made that famous prediction, "We're going to win even though we're underdogs." In the end, Don Shula would go to Miami. He coached 7 years at Baltimore. He coached 26 years there in Miami. He would lead them in 1972 to a perfect season, the only one in the history of the NFL. They were 17-0. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl. They came back in 1973 and won the Super Bowl again. Shula would go to 6 Super Bowls total. He would lose 4. He would win 2. He would also coach more games than any other coach. He coached 526 games. He coached 33 games 33 years in a row as an NFL head coach. He only had 2 losing seasons in that entire time. He was an amazing man. But one of the things I loved about him was the story. Larry Csonka was the running back for the Miami Dolphins. And he told about the time that they were going to Oakland and they were going to be playing the Raiders. They were playing there at the Coliseum, and it turned out that they had the locker rooms under construction, and so Oakland had to split its locker room, some for the Miami Dolphins, some for the Raiders. And in the end, Larry Csonka was getting into his locker that had been assigned to him, and there he found a playbook. It was what they were going to do the next day against the Miami Dolphins. He wound up giving it to an assistant coach and said, "Here, give this to Shula. It's everything they're going to wind up doing." The next day, the Dolphins went out and played the Raiders, and the Dolphins lost. And Larry Csonka got to the assistant coach and said, "What happened? We had their playbook. We knew exactly what they intended to do." And the assistant coach said, "When I gave it to Coach Shula, he took it and he threw it in the trash can and said, 'To know what someone else is going to do before they do it, that's cheating. I won't have any part of it.'" Shula was a man of integrity. He was a man who worked hard and played to win, but he always kept his feet grounded. Through all of the successes and losses, the joys and the sadness of his life, he kept his feet grounded. Why? Back when he was a freshman in college, he went off on a 3-day spiritual retreat. And Shula came back and thought, he's being called to the priesthood. He really had decided to become a Catholic priest. The only problem was he loved football so much, and he loved coaching so much. In the end, he just couldn't give up the coaching. So the Catholic Church lost a great priest, and the NFL gained a wonderful football coach. obviously to go on and have such a great career. He kept his feet grounded because every day, for the rest of his life, Don Shula started every day by going to Mass. When you start your day in prayer, you remember your values, you deal with what comes your way in life, the good times and the hard times. Maybe that's something to think about. Go ahead and be safe and have a great day.